Modern media often depicts billionaires as high-stakes risk-takers, acquiring wealth by swinging for the fences in major deals or unveiling groundbreaking inventions. Yet one of the most astonishing and understated truths about many self-made tycoons, whether Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, or Oprah Winfrey, is their unwavering commitment to saving. Surprising as it may be, hidden beneath the headlines of lavish acquisitions is a disciplined routine of systematically setting aside money. They invest, reinvest, and protect capital, even from their earliest ventures, allowing time and compound interest to work wonders. This script delves into why such saving practices form the cornerstone of long-term wealth, how real-life crises amplify the need for robust financial cushions, and what practical strategies everyday earners can adopt to mirror these billionaire habits in their own financial lives. Contrary to belief, wealth building isn't solely about huge windfalls or extraordinary opportunities. It's often about consistently funneling a portion of income into savings, month after month, year after year. Many have heard about Warren Buffett's unassuming home in Omaha, purchased for $31,500 in 1958, or Bill Gates's modest splurging relative to his colossal net worth. These choices aren't just eccentric quirks, they reflect a mindset of prudent financial behavior. From the start of their careers, both Gates and Buffett instilled a culture of spend less than you earn, direct the difference into assets that appreciate, and let time magnify the results. For Oprah Winfrey, who experienced poverty firsthand, the lessons of scarcity motivated her to treat every paycheck with caution. Early in her career, she focused on living well below her means, investing in professional growth, and gradually scaling up her lifestyle only after securing stable reserves. Such approaches underscore a pattern that pervades the ranks of self-made billionaires: save consistently, reinvest wisely, and keep an eye on the long game. The principle isn't exclusive to tech titans or media moguls. Countless millionaires cite disciplined saving as their primary secret. Not high-stakes gambling on penny stocks or day trading, but steady accumulation of surplus income. Indeed, data from financial institutions consistently reveals that sustained saving often matters more than extraordinary returns. Earning a moderate but reliable 7% annual gain over decades can outclass sporadic episodes of 20 to 30% gains, punctuated by losses. Overall, savings serve as a launchpad for bigger financial moves. Whether funding a startup, buying distressed assets in downturns, or simply safeguarding one's future, the ability to store away capital repeatedly over time fosters not only monetary growth, but mental security, knowing that unexpected bills or economic jolts won't destroy the foundation. Prudent saving becomes most evident when economic downturns or personal emergencies strike. A prime case study is the 2008 financial crisis, which brought the U.S. economy to its knees, causing widespread job losses and home foreclosures. Households with minimal savings scrambled to meet mortgages or daily expenses. In contrast, families that had built up an emergency fund, often just a few months' worth of expenses, fared far better. They could float through initial turmoil, renegotiate loans, or pivot careers without immediate financial ruin.
They're still affected by the crisis, various people in different ways, but they're not as affected as they were in 2009 or 2010.
Fast forward to the COVID-19 pandemic, which upended global markets and triggered mass layoffs. A 2020 survey showed that nearly 40% of Americans would face serious hardship if confronted with an unplanned $1,000 expense, underscoring how fragile many budgets are. Meanwhile, a subset of individuals who consistently saved seized unique opportunities, investing in stocks at discounted prices, buying real estate at lower valuations, and setting themselves up for gains once markets rebounded. These stories shatter the myth that an economic safety net is purely a luxury for the wealthy. On the contrary, anyone, regardless of income, can benefit profoundly from holding even 3 to 6 months' worth of expenses in an emergency fund. This buffer not only staves off desperation, but also furnishes agility, the capacity to relocate for a better job, to avoid exploitative payday loans, or to seize bargain investments when markets momentarily falter. The crises of 2008 and COVID-19 also highlight a psychological advantage. Households with savings navigated uncertainty with greater composure, avoiding panic-driven decisions such as unloading retirement accounts at the worst possible moments. In essence, disciplined saving transcends mere dollars. It safeguards emotional well-being and positions individuals to transform upheaval into opportunity. To fully grasp why saving is so crucial, consider a few data points that paint a sobering picture. 1. Household savings rate. In the US, personal savings rates have fluctuated mostly in the single-digit range, often between 3% and 13% for the past few decades. By comparison, countries like China and Germany sometimes boast rates above 20%. These higher rates correlate with less household debt stress, reflecting a cultural emphasis on saving. 2. Emergency funds. Research from the Pew Charitable Trusts indicates that about half of American families have less than 1 month's worth of income set aside for emergencies. Consequently, even a moderate disruption, like a car breakdown, can spiral into long-term debt. 3. Retirement crisis. According to a Government Accountability Office (GAO) study, around 50% of U.S. households aged 55 and older have no retirement savings. This leaves millions relying solely on Social Security, a precarious position if medical costs or living expenses spike. 4. Wealth concentration. Interestingly, high saving rates among affluent groups amplify wealth inequality. Those in the top 10% by income can often save 30% or more of their earnings, further widening the gap between them and middle or lower income households living paycheck to paycheck. Looking internationally, countries like Japan have historically embraced saving and modest consumption, maintaining stable household finances, though they face distinct aging demographic challenges. The overarching lesson, however, remains consistent. Societies that normalize saving typically exhibit stronger personal financial security, while those that don't risk leaving large swaths of the population vulnerable to crisis. For individuals, simply being aware of these numbers can spark a realization. Failing to save is not an isolated problem, but a widespread cultural norm that one can opt out of. By aligning personal habits with the example set by high-saving households or nations, everyday earners can achieve resilience even amid uncertain economies. At first glance, frugality might sound incompatible with the opulent lifestyles typically associated with billionaires. Yet many self-made billionaires prioritize mindful spending and direct surplus funds toward investments, philanthropy, or research initiatives. This is not to say they never indulge, they do, but they habitually keep personal consumption in check relative to their incomes. Warren Buffett continues to live in the same Omaha home he bought in 1958, invests most of his wealth into Berkshire Hathaway, and is known for driving an older car before eventually switching to a more updated but still modest model by billionaire standards. Bill Gates owns comfortable assets, yet invests heavily in global philanthropy through the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. His primary focus remains on funding large-scale public health programs and educational initiatives rather than on lavish personal luxuries. Oprah Winfrey grew up with very limited means and learned to allocate earnings carefully early in her career. Though successful in multiple media ventures, she invests large portions of her wealth into O, the Oprah magazine, her production company, and philanthropic projects like the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls. Establishing a healthy savings habit might sound daunting, but practical approaches simplify the journey. These strategies reflect decades of financial wisdom drawn from everyday earners and magnates alike. 1. Pay yourself. First, in personal finance circles, this concept is revered. Funnel a percentage, 10%, 15%, or more, of each paycheck into savings and investments immediately. This preemptive move cements saving as a top priority, not an afterthought once bills are paid. 2. Zero-based budgeting. Popularized by figures like Dave Ramsey, this method assigns every dollar a task: rent, groceries, investing, leisure, until none remains unallocated. This rigorous allocation clarifies how money is used, preventing aimless spending. Third, debt-saving balance. A heated debate often arises about whether to pay off debt first or save. In reality, it's crucial to do both. Maintaining at least a small emergency fund while chipping away at high-interest debt ensures you won't fall back into borrowing when surprises arise. Limit lifestyle inflation. As incomes grow, it's tempting to upgrade everything: housing, cars, vacations, immediately. Instead, set a policy. A portion of every raise or bonus goes straight to savings or debt reduction. This prevents new cash inflow from evaporating into bigger expenses. 5. Track and adjust. Personal finance is never static. As life evolves, so do financial needs. Revisiting budgets quarterly or annually helps refine contribution amounts to savings, especially after major events like a job change, marriage, or a home purchase. Implementing these techniques fosters a systematic discipline for building financial resilience. And because these methods are scalable, people can start with $25 a week or $1,000 a month, whatever suits their current situation, and ramp up as income and confidence grow. The financial decisions people make daily can appear insignificant, like skipping a $5 coffee or cutting back on a $60 subscription. Yet, what looks trivial can add up dramatically over time. Compound interest amplifies every penny saved, turning modest contributions into considerable sums. For instance, saving $200 a month at an average 7% annual return can yield over $500,000 after 40 years. If that same investment starts at age 35 instead of 25, the end figure diminishes significantly. This underscores the notion that time outranks mere investment skill in driving wealth. Start early, remain consistent. Moreover, data reveals how ephemeral big incomes can be if not coupled with disciplined saving. Famous athlete bankruptcies, like those of former NBA or NFL stars, occur precisely because high earnings alone don't guarantee security. Without habitually setting aside and investing surplus income, fortunes slip away as soon as the paychecks end. On a national scale, the differences between countries with strong saving cultures and those without underscore the same principle. Nations like Germany or China, with personal savings rates often exceeding 20%, generally see less household debt distress. Meanwhile, the US, with lower savings rates and higher consumer spending, has experienced repeated consumer debt bubbles that burst in crises. While personal finance is not the only factor in these macro trends, it correlates strongly with a population's economic resilience. Many claim they cannot save, or that certain priorities must come first. These myths often prevent individuals from ever fully engaging with their financial potential. Myth: I don't earn enough. It's true that smaller incomes tighten one's margin. However, even $10 or $20 weekly can evolve into thousands over time. Starting small won't hinder the momentum. Each raise or bonus can expand the contribution further. Myth: I'll save when I get a better job. Postponing a saving habit invites perpetual procrastination. As soon as income rises, lifestyle inflation creeps in. Fostering a saving routine early, regardless of the pay scale, lays the groundwork for stability. Myth: I must clear all debt before saving. While tackling high-interest debt is crucial, building a basic emergency fund is equally vital. Otherwise, a single emergency can drive you back into deeper debt. Balancing both goals is typically more sustainable. Myth: I'm too old, it's too late. Starting young is advantageous, but older individuals can still benefit. Even small accumulations of capital or lower-risk investments in one's 40s or 50s can buffer against health issues, job shifts, or rising living costs. Myth: savings is pure self-denial. Budgeting doesn't extinguish all fun. It simply prioritizes essential goals. Many effective budgets carve out fun money while safeguarding the future. Reframing saving as empowerment, not punishment, reshapes financial attitudes. Breaking these mental barriers reveals saving as a realistic, not restrictive choice. Once the shift occurs, where money is viewed as a resource to nurture rather than merely to spend, debt can become a strategic tool rather than a permanent burden. In turn, future ambitions, like home ownership, a comfortable retirement, or entrepreneurial ventures, finally receive the funding they deserve. It might surprise many that the crucial ingredient to becoming and staying wealthy isn't a groundbreaking patent or a trust fund. It's unwavering dedication to saving money. Though overshadowed by sensational stories of big IPOs or celebrity spending, this method quietly underpins fortunes worldwide. Indeed, some might find it shocking that the same principle used by billionaires is also 100% accessible to the average person. People often crave shortcuts, like day trading for huge returns or searching for the next Bitcoin phenomenon. But repeated success stories highlight a simpler path. Spend below your means, consistently set aside cash, and let compound interest flourish over time. Combined with knowledge, calculated risk-taking, and perhaps entrepreneurial zeal, saving forms a reliable basis on which all other wealth-building tactics can rest. In practical terms, adopting a saving habit starts with reviewing monthly expenses and identifying even a small sum, $25, $50, $100, that can be automatically funneled to a savings account or low-cost index fund. Over weeks and months, this fosters confidence as the balance grows. Then, as earnings rise or debt obligations shrink, these contributions scale. Meanwhile, the intangible benefit, peace of mind, takes hold. Emergencies become less alarming, and surprising opportunities appear within reach. When approached with commitment, saving transforms from a mundane chore into an empowering ritual. It allows families to handle crises with resilience, individuals to shift careers without panic, and aspiring entrepreneurs to invest in their ideas. Ultimately, it's a testament that financial security begins not with grand leaps, but with consistent steps repeated day after day.